They say you can't take it with you. Money, secrets, memories, they all turn to dust eventually. But sometimes, the echoes of a life leave a mark on the physical world. A scratch on the wall, a stain on the floor, and sometimes, if you're unlucky, they leave a frequency. My name is Phineas. I'm retired now, living in a quiet suburb, trying to forget the sounds I heard when I was just a kid trying to make a buck. I'm posting this anonymously because, frankly, if I told you my real name, you'd think I was crazy. This story starts about 40 years ago. I was an international student, far from home, and my scholarship didn't cover much. To make ends meet, I did odd jobs I found online long before the internet was what it is today. Bulletin boards, classified ads, word of mouth. I was a hired hand, a mover, a cleaner. One summer break, I saw a posting, storage unit clearing. Good pay. Must be comfortable with estate cleanouts. I wasn't comfortable with it, but I was comfortable with eating. So, I accepted. The job was for a man named Mark. His father had recently passed away, and Mark wanted to clear out a unit his dad had rented for decades. I met him at the facility, a sterile, grey warehouse. Mark was a busy guy, impatient. He gave me the key, told me to throw everything out, and said whatever I wanted to salvage was mine to keep. A lot of junk, he said, waving his hand dismissively. Dad was a bit of a pack rat, piling waste over and over. Just get it done and let me know. The unit was a time capsule. Musty air, boxes of old tools, mildewed clothes, and furniture that was more splinters than structure. I worked for hours in the heat, sweating and sneezing. I cleared out the trash, the ratty clothes, the broken boxes. At the bottom, buried under a pile of old newspapers, was a solid wood chest. It was beautiful. Oak, I think. A bit scratched, but solid. Next to it were some old dining chairs, their legs wobbly, and a few other bits of furniture. Mark was true to his word. He paid me in cash and left. Now, I knew a bit about painting and renovation from previous gigs. I saw potential. I took the chest, the chairs, and a few other items back to my tiny apartment. I spent the next weekend stripping the old varnish and repairing the joints. It was therapeutic. I sold the lot on a local marketplace for a thick bundle of cash. A successful week. Everything was gone. Everything except for two things. One was an old telephone, the kind with a physical receiver, connected to the base by a coiled wire. The plastic was yellowed and cracked. The other was a small radio. It was a strange model, with a long, metallic antenna and a peeling layer of what looked like crackled paint or enamel. It felt heavier than it should. I didn't think much of it. I chucked them in a corner of my room, under a pile of textbooks, and forgot about them. That week I was invited by a bunch of friends to stay at a mutual friend's house. My landlord was renovating the space, so it was a welcome getaway for me. A few days later, during the summer heatwave, I returned to my room. I was exhausted from a long day, and I crashed right away. I woke up in the middle of the night, my skin crawling. I dismissed it at first. But it was persistent. Static. My ears were buzzing. It was faint, like a distant storm. I tossed and turned, blaming the neighbors or the old wiring in the building. I managed to fall back asleep again somewhere around 3 in the morning. The next night, it was worse. I heard voices in the static. Then murmuring. Shouting. I thought it was the TV from the apartment next door. I banged on the wall, and that earned me a few profanities by my exhausted neighbor. But the sound wasn't coming from his space. But the sound didn't stop. The lack of sleep started to get to me. I was an engineering student. I needed my wits. I started seeing things in the corner of my eye, shadows that flickered in the dark. I blamed my fatigue. I blamed the stress. One night, desperate, I took a sleeping pill. I was determined to get a full night's rest. I lay in bed, my body heavy, waiting for the sweet embrace of unconsciousness. It didn't come. My mind was buzzing, wide awake, while my body was paralyzed. And then I heard it. Not static this time. Chaos. Gunshots. Loud, cracking, rapid-fire gunshots. Explosions. Screaming. Not just screams of fear, but guttural, desperate yells. Shouts in a language I didn't recognize, laced with panic. The noise was coming from the corner. From that strange, ugly radio. My blood ran cold. I sat up, my heart pounding against my ribs. I knocked the radio to the floor, the plastic casing cracking on the hardwood. The sound didn't stop. It kept playing, that horrific symphony of human terror. I threw a blanket over it. No change. I shoved it in a drawer. The noise was muffled, but still there, an insistent, hellish buzzing. For 3 days, I was a prisoner in my own room. I couldn't go near that drawer. The sound was intermittent, but when it came, it was always the same, sounds of absolute war. But the worst part was what I noticed on the 3rd day. A smell. It was faint at first, but it grew stronger. Metallic. Pungent. It wasn't the smell of dust or old machinery. It was the smell of iron. Fresh iron, like blood. And beneath it, a sickly sweet odor of rot and decay. It was coming from the radio. The metal and the peeling enamel were absorbing something. On the 4th day, I couldn't take it anymore. I had to know. I had to prove I wasn't losing my mind. I put on thick work gloves and pulled the radio out of the drawer. I carried it to the dumpster behind my building. As I went to drop it in, the static crackled one last time. The screaming stopped. In the sudden silence, a single, clear voice came through, speaking in that same language I didn't understand. But the tone, it was defeated. Exhausted. Pleading. Then, silence. There was a crawling sensation on my skin, as if ants were scratching me all over. My heart was pounding. Blood gushing in my ears. And then there was silence, complete terrifying silence. My breathing became louder and louder, and world was spinning before my eyes. And then I blacked out. Utterly at the mercy of the darkness. I woke up in the hospital, with a figure sitting on a chair beside my bed. It took time for my brain to catch up. I took a deep, deep breath and turned around. Before I could say anything, the doors opened and a young doctor entered. He sat on the chair that stranger was occupying just a moment ago. I called my friend from uni to get me back to my room. I didn't find the radio at the spot where I blacked out. After that I never looked for it again. I don't know where the radio came from. I don't know if Mark's father picked it up at a flea market, or if it was part of some evidence from a crime scene, or if it was simply a vessel. A piece of metal that, through some cosmic accident, had tuned into a frequency of pure agony. I don't sleep well anymore. Even now, 40 years later, if I hear static on the TV, my throat tightens. I sometimes smell that metallic tang in my dreams. They say you can't take it with you. But the things you leave behind, sometimes, they just keep screaming.